For over 100 years, the world has celebrated International Women's Day. The day is here again, and it's time for much reflection. For details, we now turn to Africa 54's Ndimyake Mwakalyelye. Ndimi.
Well, thank you, Vincent. As the world marks International Women's Day on Saturday, some women say the best way to improve conditions for their sisters and their families is through better education in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Here's VOA's Mariama Diallo with more.
First Lady Michelle Obama honors 10 women for their leadership in advocating for human rights, women's equality, and social progress.
These women have spent years in schools and universities equipping themselves with the knowledge and skills they now use to tackle the challenges before them. And that's a story I can relate to because it's the story of my life.
In the United States, a group of women marked International Women's Day by encouraging others to follow them into science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, fields usually dominated by male. Dawn McGinley is with the technology company 3M, co-sponsor of a 3-day marathon event this week to mentor women in the so-called STEM education programs. She spoke to us via Skype.
It's an opportunity to celebrate the International Women's Day and to celebrate careers and successful careers, especially of women in engineering and technology.
During the virtual event, successful businesswomen share insights and offer advice to women worldwide.
It's showing them coaching, mentoring, and exposing them early in their careers to what those types of fields of study can be and can do.
University of Maryland, Baltimore County professor Marie Desjardins teaches computer science and engineering.
If you look at the statistics, well over half of all of the STEM jobs that will be created in the next 10 to 15 years are in computing. And yet when people talk about STEM, they tend to be thinking about like biology and physics, and those are great areas, but that's not where the big job growth is going to be.
Desjardins also says exposing kids at an early age is key to getting them interested in STEM.
Make sure your kids are getting that from an early age so they think of themselves as creators of technology, as creators of new ideas, not just following the rules.
Desjardins notes she emphasizes that computer science is really about helping make the world a better place. For the women honored this week at the U.S. State Department, education helped them help others. Dr. Nazreen Oriakil, who once performed 17 surgeries in one night in Afghanistan, spoke on behalf of the group.
It is vital to come this realization that women are half of the population, world populations, and marginalizing a girl or a woman in any form of or shape means disintegrate the sacred institution of a family or a society.
She says empowering women means empowering a society and generation. In Washington, Mariama Diallo, VOA News.
Well, joining us now for more discussion on this is Humphrey Fellow Eva Flomo of Liberia, who is on attachment with us here at the Voice of America. And so happy to have you on the show, Eva. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Ndimyake.
So obviously tomorrow it's a big day to recognize women's achievements and the progress that they've made in Liberia. How would you say things stand for women?
Well, I think progress has been made, even if we say not to a large extent, but we can say that progress has been made, especially with the inception of our female president, President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. You will find out that one of the instruments I know that has been able to work kind of like effectively is the inheritance bill, for example, that was passed. And the inheritance bill talks about rights of women, for example, to properties. Because if you check, we come from a patriarchal culture wherein men dominate, men control, men own. So a woman considered as a chattel, it's difficult for her to own a property. So what happened?
Are changing now as a result of
So
that?
these are changing. As a result of the inheritance bill, the Association of Female Lawyers of Liberia, IFL, actually took on the giant step of making sure to harmonize the existing laws on marriages, customary marriage and statutory marriage.
Okay.
Because
Now,
women under statutory marriages were just entitled to 1/3 of their husband's property, dower rights.
now that's on one level. What
Yeah.
about on politics, education, and all the other areas also that women have been falling behind in?
In politics, you see a gradual movement. Sadly, there is a little shortfall when it comes to women's representation in parliament as we speak. Since the 2005 elections, you saw about 14 women actually emerging as part of the House of Reps and the Senate. But that number actually fell in 2011 to 11. So now you have like -3 representation in parliament. And you see that there is this special election for the Senate seat. That is like 15 seats. So again, it's a challenge now that women have to step up to the plate, to actually move. But some of the, the impediments happen to be finances, support.
What about?
Because it's like, it's seen as a man's world and as a man's game.
But now you have a female president. Has that changed, at least in terms of the access that the women now have and a better chance to fight some of the good
Women
old
are having
fights?
access to training. Like, for example, under the UN Women, there are programs for women to get trained. Other national women's groups are also moving out to train women to build their confidence level, because it's all like, you're a woman and you're used to taking instructions from men. So now it's changed. But women are kind of like struggling to live up to that reality because of the fear that if I get into the race, a man is just going to lambast me and look at the worst things. And the worst thing you can ever do to a woman is to, maybe insult her or denigrate her or whatever, and then she pulls back.
Surprising when you have a female head of state in the country, but I guess it will take time. Finally, before you go, you have a show that you actually do in Liberia, Women Today.
Women's World.
Women's World. What are you hearing from women about what their challenges are and what they want to see their lives become?
Women, for example, they want to take control of their lives. Women are heads of households back home, a large number. And they want to be able to take control and take care of their families. So you see most of them, they venture into agriculture. They want access to land. There is a little bit of a struggle there, women having access to land. But if women are given the chance to own land and to produce as much as they can, they will be able to contribute positively. Another impediment is the roads. We have terrible road conditions back home.
The roads.
The roads are very
Infrastructure.
still gradually, being built, but the roads, that's a hitch up right now that we're struggling with. But on the positive side, you see women are actually like moving, a lot of girls going to school now, women in adult literacy classes, so that they're able to even write their names and they can even go to the bank and save their money as compared to giving it to their husbands to keep. So you see, there is progress there. It might not be as huge and as elaborate as we want, but I see change there, because when you talk to every woman in Liberia, she's encouraged. And she says, if I see a woman at the helm of power, at the helm of control in my country, I know there is a possibility that I, as a woman, can also climb up to that ladder as well. So I'm not going to take no for an answer. I'm not just going to sit there because I see men are in control, especially in parliament. I'm going to make sure that I stand right there, and we're going to rally around women in the country to lead up the fight.
Well,
because this is our
you,
time.
With women like you, and then the 2 Nobel Peace Prize laureates, including Bowie, and of course your president, I think you're on the right track.
Yeah.
Good luck. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Eva Flomo is a Humphrey Fellow from Liberia and on attachment here with us at the Voice of America. She joined us today on Africa 54. Back to you, Vincent.
And she has to tell us if she's planning to run for office. Well, thanks a lot, Ndimi. We want to know what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we cover. Join the conversation on Facebook. The address is Africa 54. Check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com.